Good morning, 8Cs, receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Miss Kira.
Thank you. Sit down. All right, 8Cs and receiving students. Our topic for today's lesson, latitudes and longitudes. Now, I'm sure in our last year we looked at latitudes and longitude lines. All right. Now, I'd like to have, can I have a volunteer, please, to come up to the board and draw a circle, all right, or let's say a circle, and I'd like you to draw latitude lines on that circle. Imagine that you're drawing up the earth, all right? Okay, so any volunteer, come up to the board. Same as receiving students. Go up to the board, draw a circle, all right? Or let's say the earth. And I'd like you to draw the latitude lines. All right, quickly, let's have a volunteer, please. Anyone? Let's see. All right, let's have one from this end here, group 7. Can we have someone quickly? All right, okay, good. Thank you, Ismail. Yeah. Can you add some more, add something onto that? All right, I've asked this group here, group 2, to add something or add something again onto these lines here. Will you include anything apart from those lines? Yeah. All right, receiving students, what else can you add onto the circle? You already have your lines there, all right? Latitude lines. What else can you add onto that circle? Degrees. Listen. What Charlie on? Okay. All right, Charlie has drawn lines going down, longitude lines. All right, I asked for the latitude lines first. So what goes onto the latitude lines? Huh? Okay, we'll take these lines out first, huh? Come on, 8Cs. This shouldn't be something new to you. All right, hey, latitude lines here. What goes here? What goes onto these latitude lines? Come on, someone, come up. Someone come up here and... Latitude lines. Listen. Good. Okay, good. Netizen. Here, Paulus. Oh. Okay, Emmanuel. All right, Emmanuel has written down the tropics and the equator. All right. Okay, what I told you to do was on these latitude lines, okay, what do we have? What do we have on these latitude lines? What are they measured in? In degrees. They're measured in degrees, all right? So latitude lines, the equator is measured in how many degrees? All right, 0 degrees. And then you have your Tropic of Capricorn, right? Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, but it's measured in degrees, okay? All right, longitude lines. Okay. Longitude lines, please. Michael, can you just come up and draw the longitude lines up here? All right, receiving students, go up to the board and draw up your longitude lines. All right, good. So these longitude lines are also measured in what? Centimeters, millimeters? Also in degrees. Latitude and longitude lines. All right. What are lines of latitude? Come on, receiving students. What are lines of latitude? Latitude lines. Anyone, please? Right, Caroline? Lines of latitude, receiving students.
Lines of latitude are imaginary lines that run from east to west.
All right, very good. Latitude lines, Ishmael and who's that? Is it Aaron? Okay, Leka. Did you hear what Caroline said? No, you didn't. Okay, latitude lines. All right, imaginary lines. All right, that runs from east to west. All right, east to west. Lines of latitude. Can you see these lines of latitude? All right. On Earth, no, you cannot. All right, they're imaginary lines. On the globe, yes. A globe is a model of the Earth. We can see we can see these lines of latitude. So here you have, if you look here, right, you can see these lines, right? Latitude lines on the model, on the globe. They are here, right? Whereas okay, look here. Your definition for lines of latitude, class, it reads, lines of latitude are imaginary lines which run across the world from west to east. In other words, you can say parallel lines. They are parallel to each other, right? They run across. Each line or parallel of latitude is given a number between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. All right, receiving students? You can just get the main points, HCs. Each line or parallel of latitude is given a number between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So, let me see. Have you finished copying? Okay, I said you just get the main point, all right? So each of those lines are measured in degrees. So latitude lines are measured, all right, from 0 degrees to 90 degrees. So you see, the equator, you have 0 degrees. Going upwards, what does the equator do? It separates the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. So this up here is the northern hemisphere, 0 to 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the, what's this, the 90 degrees here, receiving students? What do we call this? No, this and this. These points here, what do we call them? Poles, right? Poles. North Pole, South Pole, okay? So 0 degrees to 90 degrees north, 0 degrees to 90 degrees south. So those are latitude lines of parallel, or parallel lines. Parallel of latitude. All right, we finished with that. Longitude lines. What are longitude lines? Receiving students? Longitude lines, we've looked at latitude lines. Latitude lines run across the world from west to east. This time, we look at longitude lines. Eileen?
Longitude lines are imaginary lines that run from north to south.
Very good. All right. Eileen said longitude lines are imaginary lines, again, that run from north to south. All right. This time we have lines running up, all right, up and down, from north to south, longitude lines. And does anyone know what other name do we give to longitude lines? For example, here we said parallel lines, or they're also known as parallel lines. What about longitude lines? Would you know? Starting with the letter M. Meridian lines. Okay. All right, class. Receiving students. Lines of longitude are imaginary lines which run up and down the world from north to south. Each line or meridian of longitude is given a number between 0 degrees and 180 degrees. Bobby. You finish? Okay, later. All right, you finished? Okay, good. So longitude lines, all right, 0 degrees. The main longitude line is known as the prime meridian line, right? Prime meridian line. What does it show, the prime meridian line? Or what does it do? For example, the equator separates the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. What about the prime meridian line? Separates the western hemisphere from the eastern hemisphere. So you have, it says here, each longitude line is given a number between 0 degrees and 180 degrees. So 0 up to 180 degrees west, 100 to 180 degrees east. Same with this here equator, latitude lines, 0 degrees north, 0 degrees to 90 degrees south. Right? All right, so what do the latitude and longitude lines, how do they help us when using a map, all right, or when using a map, let's say, or using the globe? How do the latitude and longitude lines help us? What do they do? When you want to look for a place, on the map or on the globe, you have those lines of latitude and longitude. Why are they there? Receiving students? Why are the latitudes and longitude lines there? Drawn on the maps or on the globe? Yes, Emmanuel?
They help us to locate places.
Very good. Lines of latitude and longitude lines help us, all right, to locate places. All right? Locate places or find the exact place. Right here, it says, it reads here, latitude and longitude are lines on a map to help us find the exact location of places. So that's why we have latitude and longitude lines, to help us find the exact location of places. Now, we're going to do an activity, receiving students. Bobby, can you give one each, please? Yes, one each to a student. All right, before we go on to our activity, class, all right, this is just up here on the screen. It's just what I got here on the whiteboard. All right, again, examples of latitude lines. 0 degrees to how many degrees? All right, 0 to 90 degrees. As I said, equator starts 0 degrees. And then you have the other lines here, for example, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. Or you can say this hemisphere up here, these lines here, let's say northern latitudes or north latitudes. These lines going down here, south latitudes. Okay, that's just an example. Same here, lines of longitude. 0 degrees to how many degrees? 180 degrees. Okay. Okay, parallel lines, so lines of latitude. All right, I'd like you to look at your worksheet, please, class. Look at your worksheet. All right, where it says, okay, it says map D, right? Finding places using latitude and longitude. All right, let's look at this. We're going to locate places using, locate places using latitudes and longitude lines. All right, they already have it. It's already here on the map. Okay, let's look at it in one example, all right? Let's look at Georgetown. Can you locate where Georgetown is? Yes? Right, the example has been given to you, or the latitude and longitude reading has already been given to you. Okay, when you want to find, locate the places, you always look at the latitude first before you look at the longitude, right? Latitude must come first before longitude. So you always look across first before you look up. All right? Look across and then up. Okay, Georgetown, what does it say? How many degrees north is it? Okay. And 58 degrees west. So Georgetown is located 7 degrees north. It's just above the equator, right? Above the equator. It's measured 7 degrees north and 58 degrees west because it's in the western hemisphere. In which continent is it? Georgetown is in which continent? South America. All right, good. Okay, look at the next one. Look at Lima. Lima. How many degrees south is it? 12. All right, it's 12 degrees south. Okay, and how many degrees west? 78. All right, 78 degrees west. So your latitude reading must come first before your longitude reading. So it's being estimated. The dots are not on the line. They're not right on the line. That's why it's being estimated. Beijing, you can see that the dot is right on the line. Yes, it's in the middle of that line. Okay, Beijing, located at 40 degrees north and 117 degrees east. All right. Okay. Okay, quickly, can you get this activity done here? You're going to, all those places there, you're going to locate the places, but some of those places have already been located for you. Okay, so quickly, get these towns down: Lima, Cape Town, Beijing, Leningrad, Anchorage, Bombay, Brisbane, and Brasilia. Okay, get those towns down, those cities, countries. Or those cities, sorry, the cities. And then you're going to find the location, not the location, but the latitudes and longitudes for each. So you look at the examples. Please quickly get it done into exercise book, and from there you just look at your worksheet. Yeah. I'm receiving students. You copy down this exercise down quickly into your exercise book, and then we can go to the other slide. So you can, from there you look at the map and you find the location. Okay, how many of you have not yet finished? How many of you have not yet finished? Haven't finished? Okay, good, hands down. What we'll do is listen, 8Cs. You can do this for your homework, all right? 8Cs, you do that for your homework. Now in our next lesson, we're still going to continue with latitudes and longitudes, all right? So you can do that for your homework. Complete that for your homework. I'm receiving students or receiving teachers. Maybe you can give them another homework, another set of homework using latitudes and longitude lines. And maybe the students can do that activity that you're giving them for homework. All right. So in our next lesson, class, we'll continue with latitudes and longitude lines. All right. So don't forget, you do that. 8Cs, you're going to have that for your homework. Okay. All right, class, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our lesson. Paulus, can you read us the keyword? Can you, yes please, the keyword for today's lesson?
Latitude and longitude lines.
All right, latitude and longitude lines. Thank you, 8Cs.